Right now, your heart is beating. You're not thinking about it. You're not controlling it. It's just working, silently, faithfully, without asking permission. And that's exactly why heart disease is so dangerous. Because when your heart finally screams, it's often too late. Every year, millions of people are told the same thing. Your cholesterol looks fine. Your numbers are normal. You're doing everything right. And then, out of nowhere, a heart attack, a stroke, a collapsed body that never saw it coming. So here's a disturbing question that almost no one asks. What if cholesterol was never the best warning sign? What if the real signal was something far more personal, far more uncomfortable, and far more accurate? What if your heart has been trying to warn you for years, through a part of your life no one talks about? Tonight, I want you to forget everything you think you know about heart disease. Because what you're about to hear doesn't sound like medicine. It sounds like life. And that's exactly why it works. The lie we were all taught. For decades, we were taught a simple story. High cholesterol clogs arteries. Clogged arteries cause heart attacks. Lower cholesterol, save the heart. Simple, clean, comforting. But reality didn't cooperate. Because despite statins, cholesterol screenings, low-fat diets, advanced medicine, heart disease never disappeared. In fact, many people who suffer heart attacks have normal, even perfect, cholesterol levels. Some are athletes. Some eat clean. Some did everything right. So what went wrong? The problem isn't that cholesterol doesn't matter. The problem is that cholesterol doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell us how stressed you are, how lonely you are, how inflamed your body is, how your nervous system is functioning, how safe your body feels in the world. And your heart cares deeply about all of those things. The heart is not a machine. Here's something most people don't realize. Your heart is not just a pump. It's a sensor. It responds to fear, to stress, to connection, to isolation, to safety. When your life feels threatening, your heart tightens. When your life feels safe, your heart opens. And there is one human behavior, older than civilization itself, that powerfully tells the heart, you are safe. You are connected. You can relax. That behavior is intimacy. And more specifically, sex. Now before you click away, stay with me. This is not about shock value. This is not about being provocative. And this is definitely not about telling you to do anything extreme. This is about understanding a biological signal that modern medicine largely ignores. The shocking pattern. Across multiple long-term studies, a strange pattern kept appearing. Men who had very infrequent sex were significantly more likely to develop heart disease. Men with regular, healthy sexual activity had lower rates of heart attacks and early death. Even more disturbing, erectile dysfunction often appears years before heart disease. Not months, years. That's not a coincidence. That's a warning. Because the arteries involved in sexual function are smaller than coronary arteries. So when blood vessels begin to fail, they fail there first. Your body whispers, long before it screams. Why this makes people uncomfortable? Doctors are trained to talk about blood tests, medications, procedures. They are not trained to talk about loneliness, emotional stress, intimacy, connection, because those things are messy. They don't fit neatly on a chart. But your heart doesn't live on a chart. It lives in your body, in your relationships, in your nervous system. And sex frequency, whether people like it or not, reflects all of that. Not because sex is magic, but because it's a summary signal of overall health. This is not what you think. Let me be very clear before we go further. This video is not saying more sex equals immortality. Sex cures heart disease. Cholesterol doesn't matter. That would be irresponsible. What this video is saying is something far more powerful. Sex frequency often reflects how well the body's core systems are functioning. Systems like stress regulation, hormonal balance, blood vessel health, emotional safety, nervous system recovery. When those systems fail, sex often disappears. And when sex disappears, heart disease risk quietly rises. What you're about to learn. In this video, we're going to explore why cholesterol is a weak predictor by itself, how stress silently damages the heart, why loneliness is as dangerous as smoking, how intimacy affects inflammation and blood vessels, why the bedroom often predicts the ICU, and what your heart actually responds to day after day. This is not about guilt. It's not about pressure. And it's not about comparison. It's about awareness. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. One day, whether we like it or not, every heart beats for the last time. The real question isn't just how long it beats. It's how fully it lived. Your cholesterol won't remember your life, but your heart will. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why. Let's begin.
You are watching InfoHub Today TV podcast. And we are going live in T-3 seconds. 1, 2.
What if everything you were told about heart disease was incomplete? What if the number on your cholesterol test wasn't the most powerful predictor of whether your heart will fail? What if your bedroom habits, the most private part of your life, were silently predicting your future heart attack? Every year, millions of people do exactly what their doctors tell them. They take statins. They avoid eggs. They fear fat. They obsess over cholesterol. And yet, heart disease remains the #1 killer in the world. So today, we're going to talk about something most doctors don't. Something uncomfortable, something deeply human. Because mounting research suggests that how often you have sex may predict your heart disease risk better than your cholesterol levels. And once you understand why, you'll never look at heart health the same way again. Hi, I'm Dr. Dixon. You're welcome back at InfoHub Today. If it's your first time coming across our channel, please hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. Now let's dive back in. The heart disease paradox. Let's start with a disturbing paradox. Over the last 50 years, cholesterol screening exploded. Statin use skyrocketed. Fat consumption dropped. Medical technology advanced. Yet heart disease never disappeared. In fact, many people who suffer heart attacks have normal cholesterol levels. Some even have perfect lab results. So the uncomfortable question becomes, are we measuring the wrong things? For decades, cholesterol was treated like the villain. But cholesterol is not a toxin. It's not poison. It's a building block. Your hormones depend on it. Your brain depends on it. Your cell membranes depend on it. So why do people with normal cholesterol still die from heart disease? The answer lies deeper in stress, hormones, inflammation, emotional health, and nervous system balance. And this is where sex enters the picture. Why sex is not just pleasure. Sex is not just an act. It's a biological signal. When humans engage in healthy consensual sexual activity, the body releases a cascade of powerful chemicals. Oxytocin bonding hormone, nitric oxide blood vessel relaxer, dopamine motivation and reward, endorphins pain reduction, testosterone and estrogen cardiovascular protection. This chemical storm does something extraordinary. It tells the body, I am safe, I am connected, I am alive. And the heart listens. The nervous system connection. Heart disease is not just a plumbing problem. It's a nervous system problem. When you are chronically stressed, your arteries constrict, your blood pressure rises, inflammation increases, insulin resistance grows, cortisol stays elevated. Chronic stress literally damages the heart. Regular sexual activity activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair mode. This mode lowers blood pressure, improves heart rate variability, reduces inflammation, improves sleep, enhances emotional resilience. In simple terms, sex tells your heart to relax. Cholesterol numbers don't do that. What the studies actually show. Multiple long-term observational studies have found men who have sex less than once per month have significantly higher rates of heart disease. Men with regular sexual activity have lower mortality rates. Sexual satisfaction correlates with lower cardiovascular risk. Erectile dysfunction often precedes heart disease by years. This last point is critical. Erectile dysfunction is not a bedroom issue. It's an early warning sign of vascular disease. The penile arteries are smaller than coronary arteries, so they fail first. Your body whispers before it screams. Why cholesterol is a weak predictor alone. Cholesterol is a static snapshot. Sex frequency is a dynamic signal. Cholesterol does not tell us how stressed you are, how lonely you are, how inflamed you are, how well your hormones function, how well your blood vessels respond. Sex frequency indirectly reflects relationship health, hormonal balance, mental health, physical fitness, circulatory efficiency, In many ways, it's a summary signal of overall vitality. The role of testosterone and estrogen. Low testosterone in men is strongly linked to heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression. Low estrogen balance in women after menopause increases cardiovascular risk. Regular sexual activity helps maintain healthier hormonal signaling. Hormones protect blood vessels. Statins do not fix hormonal collapse. Inflammation, the real enemy. Heart disease is driven by chronic inflammation. Not fat, not cholesterol alone. Sex reduces inflammatory markers. Loneliness increases them. Social isolation is now considered as dangerous as smoking. And sex is one of the most powerful anti-loneliness signals humans have. The mental and emotional heart. Broken hearts are real. Grief increases heart attack risk. Depression damages blood vessels. Sexual connection improves. Mood, self-worth, emotional regulation, sense of meaning. A heart under emotional stress deteriorates faster. Why this topic makes people uncomfortable? Because it forces us to confront something deeper. Health is not just numbers. It's how we live, how we connect, how we feel. Medicine is comfortable with pills. It's less comfortable with intimacy. Important clarifications, responsible science. Sex is not a cure. More sex does not guarantee immunity. This is about patterns, not magic. Quality matters more than quantity. Forced, stressful, or unhealthy sexual activity does not help the heart. And cholesterol still matters, it's just not the whole story. Practical takeaways. Focus on stress reduction, emotional connection, physical intimacy, sleep, movement, meaningful relationships. Your heart responds to how you live, not just what you eat. One day, your heart will beat for the last time. The question is not just how long it beats, but how fully it lived. Connection is medicine. The heart disease lie we all believed. He did everything right. He cut out fat. He switched to low cholesterol foods. He swallowed his statin every morning. He trusted the numbers. And yet, one ordinary afternoon, his heart stopped. This story is not rare. It happens every day. Men and women with normal cholesterol, people with clean lab reports, people who believed they were safe. So tonight, we ask a dangerous question. What if the foundation of modern heart disease prevention is incomplete? For over half a century, cholesterol has been portrayed as the main villain. But heart disease did not begin with cholesterol, and it will not end with lowering it. To understand why, we must go back. The birth of a medical belief. In the 1950s, heart disease was rising rapidly. Doctors were desperate for answers. One hypothesis rose above the rest: the cholesterol hypothesis. Early observational studies noticed something interesting. Populations with higher cholesterol levels appeared to have more heart disease. But correlation quietly became causation. Cholesterol was crowned the enemy. What followed was one of the most powerful medical narratives in history. Fat was demonized. Eggs were feared. Butter was replaced with processed oils. And cholesterol numbers became the holy grail of heart health. When simplicity became dangerous. Here's the problem. The human body is not simple. Cholesterol is not a foreign invader. It is produced by your liver. It repairs cells. It builds hormones. It stabilizes membranes. Your body does not manufacture poisons on purpose. Yet medicine treated cholesterol like a toxin. A single number was asked to explain a complex disease, and complexity was ignored. The statin era. Statins changed medicine forever. They lowered cholesterol efficiently, but they also did something else. They convinced society that heart disease could be reduced to a pill. What statins did not address: chronic stress, emotional trauma, loneliness, hormonal collapse, inflammation, nervous system overload. Heart disease kept rising. Quietly. The shocking reality: up to half of heart attack patients have normal cholesterol. Many had ideal LDL levels. The numbers looked perfect. Their hearts were not. Because heart disease is not a math problem. It is a life problem. The first crack in the story. Doctors began noticing something strange. Patients with high stress died sooner. Widowers developed heart disease faster. Depressed patients healed slower. Lonely hearts failed more often. These patterns could not be explained by cholesterol. Something else was speaking. A quiet truth emerges. The heart is not just a pump. It is a sensor. It responds to fear, to connection, to safety. And slowly, research began pointing towards something medicine rarely discussed openly: intimacy, connection, sexual vitality. Why this makes people angry? Because it challenges comfort. It says pills are not enough. It says numbers are not the full truth. And it says your lifestyle, not just your diet, is shaping your heart. If cholesterol isn't the whole story, what is your heart actually responding to? In the next episode, we reveal a truth most people never hear. Your heart is not just a pump. It is listening. Your heart is not a pump, it's a sensor. It's 3:17 in the morning. The room is dark. The world is quiet. And yet, your heart is racing. No danger, no threat, no emergency, just thoughts. This moment reveals a truth most people never learn. Your heart does not respond only to physical effort. It responds to perception. The biggest myth about the heart. For centuries, we were taught something simple. The heart is a pump. Blood goes out. Blood comes back. Mechanical. Predictable. But this belief is dangerously incomplete. The heart is wrapped in nerves. It is in constant communication with the brain. It reacts instantly to emotion, stress, fear, safety, and connection. Your heart knows when you are threatened, even when nothing is happening. The autonomic nervous system. To understand heart disease, you must understand one system: the autonomic nervous system. It has two main modes: the sympathetic system and the parasympathetic system. One prepares you for danger. The other prepares you for healing. Fight or flight, the heart under attack. When the sympathetic system dominates, heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, blood vessels constrict, inflammation increases, blood becomes stickier. This response evolved to save your life, but it was designed for moments, not months, not years. Modern life keeps this system switched on. Deadlines, money, traffic, phones, notifications, relationship tension. Your heart never rests. The silent damage of stress. Chronic stress does not announce itself. It quietly reshapes your biology. Cortisol stays elevated. Inflammation becomes constant. The lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium, becomes damaged. And once that lining is injured, heart disease begins. Not with cholesterol, with stress. Why calm is cardioprotective. The parasympathetic system is different. It slows the heart. It relaxes blood vessels. It reduces inflammation. It improves heart rate variability, one of the strongest predictors of survival. This system only activates when the body feels safe. Not intellectually, biologically. How the body decides safety. Safety is not a thought. It is a signal. The body asks, am I connected? Am I calm? Am I supported? One of the strongest signals of safety humans experience is intimacy. Why sex activates healing mode. Healthy sexual activity does something extraordinary. It shifts the nervous system. Breathing slows. Muscles relax. Oxytocin floods the system. Nitric oxide opens blood vessels. Heart rate becomes more variable, more resilient. This is not psychological. It is measurable physiology. Heart rate variability, the hidden metric. Heart rate variability, HRV, measures how adaptable your heart is. Higher HRV means better survival. Chronic stress lowers HRV. Regular intimacy raises it. Yet most cardiology visits never measure it. Why cholesterol can't see this? Cholesterol is static. It cannot tell us how reactive your nervous system is, how quickly your heart recovers from stress, how often you enter healing mode. Your heart does not fail suddenly. It fails after years of never resting. The cost of never feeling safe. People living in constant tension show higher blood pressure, higher inflammation, higher heart attack risk. Even when cholesterol is normal. Safety is medicine. And intimacy is one of the strongest safety signals humans have. If stress can damage your heart, and calm can protect it. What happens when intimacy disappears entirely? In the next episode of this video, we will explore why sex is not about pleasure alone. It's about survival, Sex, the most misunderstood health signal. Sex has been reduced to entertainment, to performance, to something casual or something shameful. But biologically, sex is neither. It is information, and your heart listens. Why biology doesn't care about culture? Culture debates sex. Biology measures it. Your body does not ask whether intimacy is modern, traditional, moral, or taboo. It only asks one question: is this system functioning? Sexual activity is one of the clearest outputs of overall health. It reflects circulation, hormones, nervous system balance, mental state, and emotional safety. Sex as a vital sign. Doctors measure heart rate, blood pressure, temperature, oxygen. But one vital sign is rarely discussed: sexual function. Not because it's unimportant, but because it's uncomfortable. Yet no system reveals vascular health faster: the blood flow truth. Sexual arousal requires one thing above all others: blood flow. Healthy blood vessels must dilate quickly, respond to nitric oxide, maintain elasticity, recover after stimulation. These are the exact same requirements for heart health. Sex is not separate from the heart. It is a stress test. Nitric oxide, the invisible protector. Nitric oxide is a gas produced by healthy blood vessels. It relaxes arteries, lowers blood pressure, prevents plaque buildup. Sexual activity naturally boosts nitric oxide production. This is why erectile dysfunction drugs work. They amplify a pathway already meant to protect the heart. Why frequency matters. Sex frequency is not about masculinity, or youth, or ego. It reflects how often the body can enter a state of relaxation, vasodilation, hormonal balance, emotional safety. Low frequency often signals chronic stress, poor circulation, hormonal suppression, depression, relationship strain. The heart experiences all of these. What the research keeps finding. Study after study reveals a pattern. Men with higher sexual frequency show lower cardiovascular mortality, better blood pressure control, improved heart rate variability. Women reporting satisfying sexual relationships show lower stress markers, better metabolic health, reduced heart disease risk. This is not coincidence. It is physiology. The difference between sex and exercise. Exercise stresses the body, then recovery builds strength. Sex relaxes the body, then stability builds resilience. Both are important, but only one signals safety. Why performance anxiety backfires. When sex becomes stressful, cortisol rises, blood vessels constrict, arousal drops, confidence erodes. This turns intimacy into a threat, and the heart responds accordingly. Healthy sexual activity is not forced. It is responsive. Sexual satisfaction versus frequency. Quality matters. Unwanted or pressured sex does not heal. Emotional safety determines biological benefit. A calm nervous system is required for cardiovascular protection. Why this topic is ignored? Because it cannot be prescribed easily. Because it cannot be standardized. Because it forces medicine to acknowledge emotional health. But the heart does not separate emotion from biology. If sex reflects blood flow, and blood flow predicts heart disease, what happens when sexual function fails completely? In the next episode, we confront a warning sign hiding in plain sight. Erectile dysfunction. When the bedroom predicts the ICU, it usually begins in silence. No pain, no warning, just a moment when the body does not respond. Many dismiss it. Stress, age, fatigue. But biologically, this is not a minor issue. It is a message. Erectile dysfunction is not about sex. Erectile dysfunction is rarely caused by desire. It is caused by blood flow. An erection requires healthy arteries, responsive nerves, and balanced hormones. These are the same systems that protect the heart. When one fails, the others are rarely far behind. The size problem medicine ignores. The arteries supplying the penis are small, much smaller than coronary arteries. So when vascular damage begins, these vessels fail first. Years before chest pain, years before shortness of breath, years before the ICU, the early warning window. Research shows erectile dysfunction often appears 3 to 5 years before a major cardiovascular event. This window is critical. It is the body whispering. Modern medicine often waits for the scream. Why the warning is missed? Most men do not report sexual dysfunction. Shame, embarrassment, fear. Doctors often treat it as an isolated issue. A pill, a quick fix, but the root cause remains untouched. What is actually failing? The endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, is delicate. Stress damages it. Inflammation erodes it. High blood sugar scars it. When it stops producing nitric oxide efficiently, erections weaken. So does heart protection. ED drugs and the false sense of safety. Medications can temporarily improve function, but they do not heal vessels. They amplify a pathway that already exists. If that pathway continues deteriorating, the heart pays the price. The psychological trap. When function declines, anxiety increases. Anxiety activates the sympathetic nervous system. Blood vessels constrict further. The problem worsens. This is not weakness. It is physiology. Why this matters for women too. Women experience vascular sexual dysfunction differently. Reduced arousal, pain, loss of sensation. These are also circulatory signals, often dismissed, often ignored. A missed opportunity. Erectile dysfunction could be the most powerful early detection tool in cardiology, but only if it is taken seriously, only if it is understood as a cardiovascular signal, if the body warns years in advance. Why do we wait? In the next episode, we explore the hormones silently shaping your heart's future. Testosterone, estrogen, and what happens when they collapse. Testosterone, estrogen, and the dying heart. A man looks at himself in the mirror. He doesn't recognize the person staring back. The fire is gone. The drive is muted. And quietly, his heart is changing. Hormones, the invisible architects. Hormones shape everything. They regulate energy, mood, desire. They determine how blood vessels respond to stress. They decide whether arteries stay flexible or become brittle. Yet hormone health is rarely discussed in cardiology. Testosterone and the male heart. Testosterone is not just about sex. It supports nitric oxide production, muscle metabolism, insulin sensitivity, red blood cell balance, vascular repair. Low testosterone is strongly associated with heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, depression, early mortality. This is not controversial science. It is ignored science. Why testosterone is collapsing. Modern life suppresses testosterone. Chronic stress, poor sleep, processed food, sedentary habits, endocrine-disrupting chemicals, and constant nervous system overload. When cortisol stays high, testosterone falls. The heart pays the price. Estrogen and the female heart. Estrogen protects blood vessels. It maintains elasticity. It supports nitric oxide signaling. It regulates inflammation. After menopause, cardiovascular risk rises sharply. Not because women suddenly age, but because vascular protection is lost. Why hormones and sexuality are linked. Hormones influence desire. Desire influences behavior. Behavior influences circulation. Sexual activity reflects hormonal signaling. When hormones collapse, intimacy often fades. This is not a moral failure. It is biology. The statin hormone conflict. Cholesterol is the raw material for hormones. Aggressive cholesterol suppression can impair hormone production. This does not mean statins are evil. It means trade-offs exist. The heart does not function in isolation. Aging versus accelerated decline. Aging is inevitable. Collapse is not. Hormonal decline can be gradual or sudden. Lifestyle determines the difference. Connection matters. Sleep matters. Stress matters. Sex as a hormonal mirror. Sex does not fix hormones, but it reflects them. A body with balanced hormones enters intimacy more easily. A body under hormonal stress resists it. The heart experiences both states. If hormones quietly shape the heart, what happens when society systematically destroys them? In the next episode, we uncover a killer that's more dangerous than fat. Loneliness. Loneliness is more deadly than fat. You can be surrounded by people and still be completely alone. Loneliness does not announce itself. It settles quietly. And over time, it changes the heart, the most ignored risk factor. When doctors list heart disease risks, they mention cholesterol, blood pressure, smoking, diabetes. But one of the strongest predictors is rarely named: social isolation, loneliness. Not metaphorically, biologically. What loneliness does to the body. Loneliness is perceived by the brain as danger. An isolated human is a vulnerable human, so the body responds defensively. Stress hormones rise. Inflammation increases. Blood vessels constrict. Sleep deteriorates. The heart enters survival mode. Inflammation and the isolated heart. Chronic loneliness elevates inflammatory markers. The immune system stays activated. Arteries become irritated. Plaque formation accelerates. This occurs even when diet and cholesterol are controlled. The heart reacts to emotional threat. The shocking comparison. Large population studies now show loneliness increases mortality risk similarly to smoking, obesity, physical inactivity. Yet loneliness is not screened. It is not prescribed for. It is endured. Why modern life makes it worse? We live digitally connected lives. But digital contact does not equal biological connection. Screens do not regulate nervous systems. Touch does. Presence does. Safety does. The biology of connection. Human connection releases oxytocin. Oxytocin lowers blood pressure. It reduces inflammation. It calms the heart. Sexual intimacy is one of the strongest oxytocin triggers, but it is not the only one. Intimacy beyond sex. Connection includes physical affection, emotional safety, being seen, being heard. A heart that feels supported functions differently. A heart under isolation deteriorates faster. Why men are at particular risk? Men report fewer emotional connections. They rely heavily on partners for intimacy. When relationships dissolve, isolation deepens. This contributes to higher male heart disease mortality. Not weakness. Biology. Why women are not immune. Women often carry emotional labor. They may be surrounded, but unsupported. Emotional loneliness carries the same physiological cost. The heart does not differentiate. Sex as an anti-loneliness signal. Healthy sexual connection signals. I am bonded. I am safe. I belong. These signals reduce cardiovascular strain. The heart responds immediately. If loneliness inflames the heart, and connection calms it, what happens when inflammation becomes the body's default state? In the next episode, we expose the real driver of heart disease: inflammation. Inflammation, the real cause of heart disease. Heart disease does not begin with a heart attack. It begins quietly, invisible, with fire. The fire inside the arteries. Inflammation is the body's emergency response. It heals wounds. It fights infection. But when it never turns off, it becomes destructive. Chronic inflammation slowly damages blood vessels from the inside. This is where heart disease truly starts. Why cholesterol was blamed. Cholesterol is found at the scene of arterial damage, so it was accused of causing it. But cholesterol is part of the repair process. It patches injured vessel walls. The real question is not, why is cholesterol there? But, why is the artery injured? Endothelial damage, ground zero. The endothelium lines every blood vessel. When healthy, it produces nitric oxide, regulates blood pressure, prevents clotting, controls inflammation. Chronic stress damages this lining. So does loneliness. So does poor sleep. So does metabolic dysfunction. CRP and the silent signals. Doctors measure cholesterol. But inflammation markers often go ignored. C-reactive protein, CRP, predicts heart attacks better than LDL alone. It measures fire, not debris. How stress lights the fire. Psychological stress activates immune pathways. Cortisol dysregulation fuels inflammation. Blood vessels stiffen. Plaque becomes unstable. A stressed life creates inflamed arteries. The role of sex in inflammation. Regular, healthy sexual activity reduces inflammatory markers. Oxytocin calms immune activation. Nitric oxide improves endothelial function. Sleep improves, the fire cools. This is not metaphor. It is measurable biology. Why statins only treat symptoms? Statins lower cholesterol. They modestly reduce inflammation, but they do not remove the sources of chronic immune activation. They cannot fix loneliness. They cannot resolve chronic stress. They cannot restore emotional safety. Inflammation is listening to your life. Your immune system responds to how you live, to how you sleep, to how you connect, to how safe your nervous system feels. Food matters, but it is not the whole fire. Why this changes everything. If inflammation is the driver, then heart disease prevention must go beyond numbers. It must address stress, isolation, hormonal balance, nervous system regulation. The heart cannot heal in a hostile environment. If inflammation is fueled by modern life, who designed the environment your heart lives in? In the next episode, we confront how modern relationships are breaking our hearts. How modern relationships are breaking our hearts. The heart does not break only from loss. It breaks from tension, from silence, from living in a constant state of emotional uncertainty. The hidden stress inside relationships. Relationships are meant to regulate stress. When they fail to do that, they become a source of chronic threat. Arguments that never resolve. Affection that disappears. Intimacy used as leverage. The nervous system stays activated. The heart pays the price. Why emotional conflict is physiological. Your brain cannot distinguish between emotional danger, physical danger. Both activate survival systems. Heart rate increases. Blood pressure rises. Inflammation escalates. This happens repeatedly in unstable relationships. The cortisol trap. Chronic relational stress keeps cortisol elevated. Over time, cortisol stops working properly. Blood sugar rises. Abdominal fat increases. Sleep fragments. Arteries stiffen. The heart ages faster. Sexlessness as a stress amplifier. When intimacy disappears, so does regulation. Oxytocin drops. Dopamine flattens. Stress hormones dominate. A sexless relationship is not neutral. It is physiologically stressful. Why high conflict is worse than separation. Studies show people in high conflict relationships have worse heart outcomes than those who are alone. Constant threat is worse than solitude. The heart prefers peace over proximity. The modern relationship paradox. We expect one partner to provide emotional safety, sexual fulfillment, validation, identity. When these needs go unmet, stress compounds. The body keeps score. Why men and women experience this differently. Men internalize relational stress. Women externalize emotional labor. Both activate inflammation. Different expressions. Same cardiovascular cost. Why hearts heal in stable bonds. Stable relationships reduce heart rate variability stress. They improve sleep. They lower inflammation. They protect against cardiac events. The heart thrives on predictability. Repair is more important than perfection. Conflict alone does not damage the heart. Unresolved conflict does. Repair restores safety. Safety calms biology. If relationships can inflame the heart, and stability can protect it. What happens when the nervous system never fully relaxes? In the next episode, we reveal how sleep deprivation quietly destroys the heart. Sleep, intimacy, and the exhausted heart. There is a moment every night when the world goes quiet, and your heart finally asks for rest. But for millions of people, that moment never comes. They close their eyes, and their bodies stay on high alert. And slowly, silently, the heart begins to break. The sleep-heart connection. Sleep is not passive. It is active repair. During deep sleep, blood pressure drops. Inflammation markers fall. Blood vessels regenerate. Hormones rebalance. The nervous system resets. Without sleep, the heart never recovers. Even 1 week of poor sleep raises blood pressure, increases insulin resistance, elevates cortisol, disrupts heart rhythm. Chronic sleep deprivation increases heart attack risk as much as smoking. Yet most people treat sleep like a luxury. Why stress steals sleep? The heart cannot rest in danger. When emotional stress is unresolved, The nervous system stays in fight or flight. Cortisol remains elevated at night. Heart rate stays high. Blood vessels remain tense. This is why pills don't fix insomnia rooted in stress. And this is where intimacy matters. Intimacy as a sleep signal. Healthy sexual connection triggers oxytocin release, parasympathetic dominance, lower nighttime cortisol, deeper REM cycles. This is not about performance. It's about safety. When the body feels emotionally safe, the heart finally rests. When intimacy disappears, sleep quality often collapses, and the heart pays the price. The modern sleep trap. Screens, notifications, blue light, late night stress, relationship tension carried into bed, phones glowing where connection should be. The bed has become a battleground instead of a sanctuary, and the heart never stands down. Real-life patterns. People with poor sleep often report low libido, irritability, emotional distance, rising blood pressure, weight gain. These are not separate problems. They are one system failing together. Closing reflection. The heart heals at night, but only if you let it. And sleep only comes when the body feels safe. Let us end this video with a very important question. If sleep can destroy the heart, what happens when intimacy returns? All right, guys, we have come to the end of this video. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to our YouTube channel at InfoHub Today to stay tuned for more powerful health tips. You can also check InfoHub Today verified store from the link beneath this video. Thanks for watching, and always stay safe.